Which people?
The listeners.
They said?
Yes, they said they want it. So,
we'll
work on that.
Yeah, we'll train some of them.
You train some of who? To come and do trends for just Friday.
Yes.
Yeah, but two salary need be the amount.
Oh no.
I don't know.
No, it's love for the.
Yeah. Anyway, this morning I see so many things trending.
Oh yes.
Where are we taking it from?
Yes. We are starting with Farmer John.
Farmer John. Oh.
Yes.
John
Dumelo. Yes,
okay.
We are starting with him. There was the community manifesto that's organized by TV3 yesterday, and Farmer John said something. I want to say Farmer John because John Dumelo.
Just say John Dumelo. That's what people will
said
know.
something
Okay.
that people feel like, he was being insensitive about this. Because I think with what I saw, he was saying that some of the supporters of the NBB were screaming V8 at the back.
Oh, during that.
V8, yeah. During his conversation, when he was talking, they were screaming V8 at the back. And then he feels that if they are screaming V8, that means he can also say that Honorable Lydia Al-Hassan also, killed her husband just so she could take over from him. I mean, we all know the passing of the husband back in 2018, but and then later on, Lydia came in to also run for
and actually staying the husband's
yes.
But I mean, she could have lost the election. So what is?
So he made reference to that, and people were like, "Oh, John Dumelo, we didn't expect this from you.
That
this was so
low
insensitive."
Blow.
If you are saying that, then we can also reference that former President John Dramani Mahama also killed our late president. At Mills, just so he could, people are making such kind of things. But then he tweeted last night, and then he said he apologized and retracted the comments he made earlier today on TV3. But looking at the comment section, looks like people are still not happy with him. They are like, look, why should you even go to that point? But she wasn't there herself.
Yeah,
Lydia Hassan wasn't there herself.
In the heat of the moment, some of these things, that's why we need to be, we need to be measured.
That's what I was talking about. He talked in the heat of the moment because it looked like he was so disturbed about what was going on, but it was like.
But he had to know.
go to that extent.
No, he had to know that walking into that auditorium, obviously, you're not just going to meet all your fans or people who are just for you.
NDCs.
There's going to be the opposition, and they will heckle you. Do you get it? So, for him to have gone that way, I think, he's apologized.
He has apologized, but I think people are not taking it.
It will take a while.
People are not taking it.
It will take a while. And whatever he said is on tape. It wouldn't go away anytime soon.
Yeah, we are seeing videos upon videos.
Whatever comes with it, he just has to live with it. He did it. Anyway.
But he's sorry, please. He's sorry.
Okay.
He's sorry. Moving on to our next entertainment story. Omale. Yeah, he spoke to Billboard.
Okay.
And then he's saying something interesting. He's saying that right now, most of the upcoming artists or some of the artists coming from Nigeria are, copying him.
Oh.
In terms of how he does his music.
Oh, really?
Copy. Yeah, copying him. Yeah. I don't think he meant to say they are copying him like in a bad way. Like they are learning something out of how he does his music. And then he was referencing the fact that some of his fans call his music Afro Depression.
Afro Depression.
Why did they call it?
To say the BBI Afro. Everything from Africa now, we need to add Afro to it.
Maybe because of his style, that's why they call it Afro Depression.
Stonebwoy says he's championing Afro dancehall. Stonebwoy says he's championing Afro dancehall. We have Afro beats, Afro pop, Afro. Like once it's coming from Africa, there needs to be some Afro. Maybe we might have Afro hip life. You never know. Hip life is just one. But before I realize, somebody might champion something and say it's called Afro hip life, so that it will be accepted as coming from Africa. But I think, have you realized that almost all the sounds from...
He didn't give the name to his kind of music.
Yeah, I get it.
People said,
get
okay.
It. But I'm thinking that, don't you think African songs all the songs are now sounding the same?
They are.
From Ghanaian artists sounding like Nigerians, almost all the Ghanaian Afrobeat songs, that are popular today
sound like Nigerians. Yes, I'm talking about King Promise.
Almost everybody. Maybe just to associate. But listen, how do you want to be recognized as original when you are playing second fiddle to another person?
But I mean, they take inspiration from other artists, right?
Yes, I mean, every artist takes inspiration from another creative. But the point is that when you are all sounding, as a country like Ghana, Ghana is always complaining about being recognized, But how do you get recognized when you are living in the shadow of another person?
Well,
exactly. There can't be another One Love the Kobolo. There will always be One Love the Kobolo. So if you also start walking barefooted, people will say you want to be like One Love. But
what if it's really just what the person wants to do?
Who else have we seen do that?
No, but we know that music, when it comes to art or music, people take inspiration from other people.
So that's what I'm saying, that the reference would always be made to One Love.
Oh, okay.
Same as Ghana. The reference would always... Do you know that
they
now...
made Nigeria?
Listen, when they mention King Promise, people think he's from Nigeria.
Olive the boy.
Exactly. Talk about Kamido. They were referencing Nigeria. Even at the time Fuse ODG was at his peak, people thought he was Nigerian.
Really?
Exactly.
I don't see any style of Fuse ODG sounding like that.
You know his name is Abiona.
Oh, okay.
So people thought that it was Nigerian. They were referencing me as Nigerian.
Oh, okay.
You know,
okay.
So I mean, until we stay original, we always play second fiddle to other countries. Anyway,
but I think I saw Kamido talking about. I saw a podcast where Kamido was talking about Nigerians and their artists and how they do things, and then talking about the Nigerian girls. Kamido, hey.
In that podcast.
Yeah, talking about how Nigerian girls are more exposed. And I'm like, bro, no, please, Kamido, please, I like you. Don't come and offend Ghana girls. You see, this is what you were talking about yesterday. Ghana girls will come and support you. Then you go and say Nigerian girls are more exposed.
And give the fans
they know what's up. Hey, Kamido, don't do that.
I'm a guy.
That be no, just because they like to do a lot of things doesn't mean
doing the things is what makes them guys.
No.
Doing the things is what makes them
Ghana girls.
Anyway, we should be wrapping up.
Yes, our final story. Kojo upon Chroma is trending.
Yes.
Okujo to Ablakwa is also trending. And Charlie, so yesterday, Kojo upon Chroma was before the Governance and Assurance Committee, which is headed by MP Okujo to Ablakwa, and then they were talking about matters that came up after the Akosombo Dam spillage. And I think I've spoken about this a couple of times, where most of the victims have still not been resettled to a better place. They are still living under tents. And we've seen that Okujeto is actually very passionate about people, getting the right settlement.
He affected his constituencies or his people. And
then he's talking about it, asking upon Chroma about it, and then he ain't happy, that Okujeto used certain words, introducing red herrings and all of that. And then he has to defend it. No, I have to defend it. But,
it generated into something else. They had to go for an emergency suspension or something. So that they come back. I mean, the video is trending. If you're out there, you want to check out.
But I can understand both parts. I can understand the fact that if you are saying I'm insincere, I should defend myself. But at the end of the day,
yes, he is the chairman. He has the right to ask certain questions. But of course, as he have the power to ask those questions, that same person also has the power to actually answer them. And then again, if you use certain words on him, which he feels are not appropriate, he has every right. But I think they could have done it in a more decorous way. At some point, tempers were high.
Yes, saying that he was lying about. I think someone went to the extent of bringing that old video where they were talking about the soldiers, leaving, packing. I saw the video, and it's clear that they were actually leaving.
Well,
so I don't know. Maybe Miss miscommunication, misinformation.
I mean, one has been an information minister, being a radio presenter. He's vocal.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't sit back and wait for.
I think people are taking it at heart, saying that Okujeto likes bullying the NPP and Gopon Kroma isn't going to allow him to bully him. And then some people also saying, Okujeto is so particular, about the well-being of his people. Bro.
Continue.
That's why they are there. They are probing into matters.
Yes.
Please let it go.
Let the arguments continue.
But it was nice though.
You see, maybe a beef one, a honor energy. Anyway, thank you very much for bringing us Daily Cheers this morning. Daily Cheers brought to us by Cowbell Coffee. Just make sure that you have a sip this morning and you are good to start.